What's going on, everybody? Gustav the 13th here with another video for the week of the 19th of February 2026. We have the Gunblaster here as our new banner suit, General 650 with rarity of 3, priority of 2, and space compatibility. Checking out here, interesting spread of weapons. Not only do we have the beam bazooka, but we also have Gunblaster's BR2. A little bit of a camo stuff here. No charge on these, charge on this. This actually charges into stun but with no pierce and is a 2-tap with the regular shot for a bazooka, which is a little bit odd. You'll see more of that when we get into it. For the practice, Gunblaster beam saber, 2800 power, cooldown time of 2.5, can do aerial melee, all that good stuff. Decent downswing on that. Head Vulcan, so these are about, I want to say 16 or 17 shots per stun, as long as you don't have anything with DC going on. Power is 130, ammo of 60, and a range of 200 meters. Then we get some things I didn't really think about, which is actually missile launchers here. So we have a 2-2 multi-launcher. This is actually just for a stun. And then we have chain explosions, and it shoots each of these individually. Both of these have 2 ammo, 275 for the range on both. 500 on this for the power and the tick, of course, and then the 1200 for the power for the baseline here. And then we have another beam shield. Not bad. Technically, it's a melee suit in that regard. But getting into the stats and skills here, we have 21,500 for the HP. Almost said HP. Jeez. So beam, ballistic, and melee is 27, 24, and 21 respectively. Range strength of 37, melee strength of 28. Movement speed of 135, top speed of 220, thruster gauge of 75, and a turning speed of 78. Part slots wise, we have close, medium, and long for 16, 20, and 12. Long being a little bit slow considering how much range this thing actually has. And the fact that the downswing is potent, but the baseline damage for this at 2800 is not super crazy, especially for just, I don't know, being a general. But we get into the skills here. So Electroshock Absorber 3, Emergency Evasion System 2, Flight Control Program 4, Glide Structure 3, Anti-Blast Stabilizer 1, High Performance Balancer 1, High Spec Ambag 2, Maneuver Armor 1, Force Injector 4, Aerial Melee System 1, Melee Combo Controller 1, High Performance Radar 1, Frontline Support System, Flat Booster 2, and Twin Tail Controller. So Twin Tail Controller is a more unique thing for this. It says press the touchpad for full thruster recovery and to temporarily activate the skill, but only once. When activated, mobility increases, thruster consumption during high-speed movement decreases, and stagger buildup during high-speed movement is reduced. Also, weapons compatible with this skill can be used during high-speed movement. So those two weapons are the bazooka and the Gunblaster BR. And obviously you have the head Vulcans to use just whenever. So you have a decent amount of stuff to track with. That being said, the accumulation on these is a little bit rough. It almost kind of feels in some ways, especially when you're dealing with suits that have a little bit more DC. It kind of feels like when you're doing the rapid shot on the Wing 0 EW, where it's like, this should be stunning sooner. It's literally 2 full rifles just shooting the fuck out of somebody. Why isn't this stunning sooner? But you got your Vulcans. This is a, like I said, 2-tap, maybe 3-tap if you have more DC on something. So not super bad for that overall. Let's get into the enhancements here. So +1 anti-beam. Beam resistance is... Wait, ballistic resistance. Why does it do that? +1 anti-beam, but also ballistic resistance is 1. Why not just make them the same? Is anti-ballistic, like, weird to say? But +1 to range strength, and then the last one is conflict expansion slot for 2290. And then for the unlockables, we have +5 to anti-beam, and then +5 to range strength at the end, which has, it'll put you into the 40s baseline. Overall, not awful. We'll be getting into this in practice to show it off. Although, I have my own opinions, otherwise I wouldn't be making the video, but let us get into this and show it off a little bit first. While we yep. Oh my god. Please hurry up. That loading should not take that long. These units have not changed in 10,000 years. So, 2. Oh wow, you gotta go 4 for that much DC. And Brobby though, 2 tap. And we should probably use him for the example here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 bursts with the beam rifles for anything that doesn't really have DC on it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gotta do an extra burst for the Hama. And I mean, the missile pods themselves are actually instant stun. It shoots both of them at once, and then for the cluster, it actually shoots one at a time. Good amount of accumulation there, especially if you have something that's weak to it. For the rifle, 2 tap on that, but this might be decent. Yeah, so no piercing, but it does do splash damage for the charge shot on the bazooka, so something to keep in mind there. You do have that. As long as you can place it well, you can get multiple people with that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. So 17 shots on the stun there. Kind of an alright rate of fire. Wish it was a little bit faster when it comes to that, but flaps are decent. And then of course we get into the mobile firing here. As you can see, it really does sip boosts and stuff. You know, if you're ever in a situation where you feel like it's a little bit finicky with the messer, you know, when you're scraping along the bridges and stuff and it suddenly starts pushing you out of the sky and you just want more control, this isn't an awful alternative. I think the only thing that's rough is that skill expires. And when it does expire, you need to be careful. This is another one where if you're on the ground, much like max power and all that, it will end up stunning you, as you'll see here, because it does this animation where it's like really tries to rapidly cool down and stuff. Now, again, if you are watching your boost and you're not in the red line when that happens, you will have your stuff ready to go. It's still really scary to have it suddenly interrupt your movement though. And that being said, I'm gonna die real quick and we're gonna show it up, but you know, so you don't really have to just take my word at it. But if you actually do that in the air for the countdown, then it won't go off, similar to the max power cooldown and all that. But other than that, there's not a whole lot else going on with this suit. Really neat, very consistent. I would argue that this is another situation much like the Hexa, where like the Hexa can do pretty well on its own, but having a buddy, like a double Hexa setup, is actually really good. We had a early match, and I might use that as our example match, where it was just a bunch of us running around in Gunblasters and stuff, just causing trouble. You know, and having that much volume of fire and stuff on another suit that can just be in the air is, first of all, obnoxious, but also really neat. And it's probably one of the more effective ways to run these in a group. You know, because it can get a individual stun out of this. And it's not bad with the accumulation. Obviously, if you're in a more individual situation and you're in a spot where you don't have to worry about being centered as much, then you can just let out the missiles and probably handle the area pretty well. But as you can see there, cooldown happens and we're still good to go. So don't have to worry about that. Just got to keep that in mind. In fact, I'm almost tempted to... Hold on, I'm going to try one more thing. Sorry about this. But one thing I didn't really check, and I'm curious about, is if you even really have to be in the air, or if you can just be boosted. Because something else that I noticed is that it's not the same as overboost, where even when you fall down and it goes off, you don't get up just to trip again. So it may be a situation where you just specifically can't be neutral moving. So we'll check that once we get back in. But other than that, it seems like it has a decent amount of accumulation when it comes not just to stun but also damage. You can definitely, as you can see there when we were doing it earlier, if you do the hard landing into melee, you will be able to ride that momentum to go down a little bit lower with the initial swing. You can definitely do a lot of different stuff with that sort of thing in terms of just tech and shit. Although you really have to make sure that you're going down first, because otherwise it will just have zero momentum and you'll have a hard time just doing it in place, unless you really just want to shoot forward from wherever you're at. Alright, so 4, 3, 2, 1. So even in boosting, you don't really have to worry about it. So as long as you're doing some sort of high-speed movement or mid-air, you don't have to worry about that cooldown. It's only when you are, you know, in neutral movement, which means you're being punished for essentially either not paying attention or for redlining yourself before that happens. So a little unfortunate, but you know, something to keep in mind. It's a little bit more forgiving than even I thought initially, so that's good. Not a lot of damage to the base with this stuff when it comes to the range. The missiles are probably your better bet in general. Ballistic stuff tends to be compared to beam. Don't really know why. Don't think that really makes sense, but you know, it is what it is. So definitely not going to be a base busting kind of suit, but you can still contribute. Now, with all that out of the way, we do have some matches. I'm probably going to put that one that I mentioned where there was just a bunch of us in these up here, and we're going to put that on right around here. I do hope that they give it another adjustment though at some point. Here we go, maiden voyage in this goober. Don't you down. Don't you with that. Hunt these. So the scary thing is that anything with any kind of DC, I'm gonna have to 3-tap unless I actually just have a full charge. And that's gonna be even worse for the dual BRs. Oh boy, here we go. Whee! That's fast though. Oh god. When there's 3 of us though, that's really obnoxious. It's just a bunch of us walking around. Pew 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 pew. Oh my god. Stop. Uh-oh. No. Yeah. Panic. Pew pew pew. What the? Oh, I was trying to flap up the foot. Oh, no pooping. No pooping. Get out of here. Oh shit. Wait. Oh, that's right. One of them's on circle because there wasn't other stuff under it. Pew, pew. Uh-oh. Pew, pew. Okay, thank you. Oh, it does only shoot out a single of it. Oh, you ran back into it, stupid. Bang, bang. What am I looking at? Oh. Pew, 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 pew. Halt. Oh, you. Okay. Hit the button. No. Literally just takes some dis and take some of that, yeah. Especially if you really do go fucking strike team with it and have 3 of you, because it's just that stupid team combo from 30. Just a bunch of them just cruising at you. Pew pew! Oh.
行ってこい。味方が落とされたか。味方が敵モビルスーツを撃破。
Get away. Stop holding me still. God damn it. I can't even start the stupid mode. It doesn't let me fucking mash it like EX boost.
味方が敵モビルスーツを撃破。行ってこい。
Let me in. Oh. 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 Hello, sir. Oh my god. And pew 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 pew. Uh oh. Get shitted on. Ah, that's my butt. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's a little under 3K with that. Oh, I'm gonna get stunned. I'm gonna get stunned. Ooh, is it gonna stun me when I stand up? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, it didn't. Uh-oh, one on the way. One of me there. Wee. Let's see. Alright, I gotta reach. Oh my god. He just pooped. I'm sorry, what the fuck? Wow. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh, our double Zeta. I was like, what is fucking their shit up? That's what it is. Yep, sure as shit. There he goes. Masters that have a head start seem like they have a better hold with some of that shit though. Oh god. You sound crazy. She likes when we do terrorist shit, I guess. Oh.
味方が落とされたか。
Nah.
作戦時間終了。私たちの勝ちだ。よし、帰るぞ。
The tone actually got in there, but that's not surprising. Discount silhouette. The dowsing also, I think the doggy has a similar one, right? And that was our run in the Gunblaster. So overall, definitely don't mind this suit. I will say much again, like as usual, especially because we're back at 650 here. Still a cost where there's a lot of things that are very acceptable to use. There's a lot of things that are not going to be replaced by this, even though it's kind of doing things similar to certain suits that are at different costs. Someone said that it was kind of like a low budget silhouette, that sort of stuff. I can kind of see that, especially with the mobile shooting, even though I would say the version on this mode wise is a little bit rough. It's kind of a grunt tax thing, right? Like if that was a mode that they put on a different version of like the Victory, or even when we maybe eventually get the V2 and stuff, it probably wouldn't have those once per life limitations and shit, right? We can probably safely say that. But I think for people who like that kind of flow and who can make stuff count within that time limit, this will be a suit that they'll enjoy. I wouldn't say that this is something you absolutely positively have to have that's going to be like game breaking for 650 in general, but not the worst thing to be running either. So it does have a guaranteed step up. It is another 4-stepper essentially, because it does have the 2 discounted spins and all that. So if you want an excuse to get one of the other voice packs or whatever, you know, not awful to try to put stuff towards it. Although we are getting closer to the end of the month here, which means we are very likely in store for some sort of 4- or 5-star suit pretty soon. And we'll just have to see what that's going to be when it drops. But that is the long and short of it for my initial impressions of the Gunbuster. I did not get this on my own account. This is something that we are borrowing from Asian, so I probably won't be playing this during the week, because like I said, I don't really feel like it's super duper worth spinning for. So we'll still be fighting against it. To truth be told, once we got into our other accounts, we didn't see a whole lot of them, so we'll see how many people really bother to adopt this, or if they're just going to wait for the end of the month. But until next time, this has been our general take for the Gunbuster, and this has been Goose Down to 13, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.